rig the election and they would now declare as well. I don't know. But if you look at what this criminal group of people, PDP, APC, have actually done to people, you would think that there should never be anybody, anyone whatsoever, standing anywhere, right, in solidarity with either PDP or APC anywhere. But you'll be wrong, very wrong. That's the situation. And similarly, right, remember the Rufai of Kaduna, the Kaduna little finger, the man that was so evil that he downplayed the massacre that was going on in southern Kaduna at the time. He said the killings in southern Kaduna by the Fulani terrorists was a figment of imagination of people. That people who are actually amplifying the killings in southern Kaduna, they are not from Kaduna. And for those who are showing the videos of the destructions and the killings in southern Kaduna, who are from Kaduna, they were doing so for political reasons. A man that dared the people of southern Kaduna, because they are majorly Christians, that he will fly a Muslim ticket and there's nothing they can do about it. And indeed, he did, he did fly that. He had his Muslim ticket where the people of southern Kaduna's vote was pretty much like nothing to him. He was this little finger. He was this little Hitler that when their charade election came, APC, Ebekebe was defeated in Kaduna. But guess what he did? When it came to the governorship election, he did all he could to rig his own supporters to GN, to replace him and cover his ass. And that one came in Ibasani. Realized the rot that this man left for whoever was going to take over, and for him that eventually took over. Kaduna was bankrupt. But he was able to cover the book, cover it enough, especially for the last 1 year of his time as the governor of Kaduna. The fake projects that he was doing mostly in northern part of Kaduna, northern, they say northern senatorial district of Kaduna. Why the southern Kaduna was left to rot away. In some areas where he was able to, where the Fulani terrorists were able to carry out their massacre, their genocide, chased away the people from their communities. Some of these communities were renamed. And the Fulanis were settled there. I mean, the first place in Nigeria where terrorists committed a genocide. And they stayed back. They stayed back at the venue of crime. It was all like gazetted, legalized by the little finger. So just a few months after he left power, his successor, Ubasani, they ran into trouble water. They became sworn enemies. It all started as if it was a joke. When they said that Littlefinger wanted to give, or he wanted more than 60% of the political appointments in the state to go to his own choosing people. And Ubasani was like, listen, you've ruined this state, man. If I knew this is how bad it is, I would never vie to be a governor. I would have stayed in the Senate. JJ. Kaduna was servicing debt with over 4 billion naira every month, which means before any allocation is allocated to Kaduna, they will remove 4.5 billion naira from the allocation. The rest will be given to them. Similar way or same way, Aregbemugbana Baba Kabiru of Oshun. The same way he left a bankrupted Oshun to the what's that guy's name again? Tifnumbu's cousin, Oletola of Oshogbo. That took over from Aregbemugbana Baba Kabiru, Aruwo Mugbana Baba Kabiru. He ended up having to inherit a state where half salary was actually celebrated, right? The bankrupted state, where at a point, Osun State was collecting 350 naira allocation. When other states are collecting 3 billion, 2 billion, Osun, they collect 350 naira, 450 naira, 600 naira allocation from Abuja. Because after they deduct all of the deductibles, just less than 1,000 naira shaluku. No joke. Don't think I'm exaggerating. It happened. And the guy couldn't scream because the person that rigged him in that rigged Ade Jackson, Governor Ajogbabotu, that rigged him out for Oletola, was Arowomugbana Baba Kabiru. Now, Onigbana Baba Kabiru then became a minister under Bukwari. So therefore, Oletola just had to make it like, internal pain. He couldn't complain. Unfortunately for Rufai, Kaduna Little Finger, Tifnubu played a smart one on him. He didn't become a minister. Ubasani just went on straight to expose him that 420 billion naira was stolen from Kaduna. And now, a year after, Kaduna Little Finger is now a preacher that says he is ready to swear with Holy Qur'an that he never stole a dime from that Kaduna, that it was all political descent to tarnish his name. Now, I don't know who is going to give him a Quran like they gave to Patawale of Zamfara, who is also a minister today. Patawale of Zamfara stole more than 200 billion naira Zamfara state money, according to his own successor. But he's rewarded as a minister. So he has something as a leverage, whereby he can be on the run. But today, this criminal, this terrorist, this thief that awarded a contract of 17 billion naira to the son of the general overseer of Redeemed Church, Iroboye of Redeem, whose son became a road contractor simply because of the connection that Iroboye of Redeem has with this Rufai of Kaduna. They gave him a contract of 17 billion to construct a road. He collected over 8 billion, ran away with it. All of this is part of the money, an expose that Ubasani exposed on this thief. Now he is now a philosopher that is now telling us how important politics is and why everybody should be involved. The little finger.
Second mistake is a toxic political culture. I've been spending a lot of time with politicians in the last few years. One of our biggest mistakes in government was not taking politics seriously. Politics is important. Politics trumps everything. Politics is more important than anything you can think of. Because if you ignore politics, you do so at your peril. I have found that the biggest problem we have in our country, other than the leadership crisis and the failures I've mentioned, is the nature of our politics. We have a politics of private interest. We have no politics of public interest or public good. And you know, the politicians proudly tell you that politics is about interest. If they don't get what they want, they are ready to collapse the system. Every military coup in Nigeria's history was engineered by civilians that have lost elections, rightly or wrongly. If a politician contests for a position and he doesn't get it, he will not support a party member that got the nomination. He will rather move to the opposition and ensure that the person that defeated him, fair and square, loses the election. So we have a political culture where the primacy of personal interest trumps everything else. Now, what is the difference between human beings and animals? So it is with most Nigerian politicians. Everyone for himself. No one for the country. No one even for the party. It's an interesting political culture, and it's ingrained. Politicians believe that is the way, that is politics. And to change it will take quite an effort. This is a problem, and until we fix our politics, we'll continue to throw up the wrong leaders. We'll continue to sustain a system that serves the elite few to the detriment of the many. Second mistake.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving. People should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to for simple reasons that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to.
Professor Akwefumi, still talking about Kaduna. The Yoruba community in Jaji area of Zaria, I'll get the full name by the way. See, they came under attack yesterday that I actually wanted to talk about, but because our network was acting up, so we couldn't really get that out yesterday. But I am going to say it today. So what happened? They said that an Hausa boy stole from a Yoruba man, and maybe somebody now shouted, "Ole, ole, barao, 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 barao." No, ole, 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 because that's supposed to be a Yoruba community. So they grabbed the boy. Maybe the boy never chop. He not too strong for the beating we they give him. No, the thief like that. Stop stealing. That's barao bansa, shege barao bansa, bansa bansa you and bansa you there. Before you know it, the boy died. And before you know it as well, what followed it is an arson. Where properties. There is no reported loss of lives, but specifically, when the Hausas returned, how dare you beat a thief to death, Hausa thief, in his own land? How can you even call him a thief? What did he steal? Is what he stole kind of like more valuable than his life? I kind of agree, though, that nobody should be beaten to death for stealing anything at all in that contraption. I mean, those that deserve to be beaten to death are your criminal politicians that are stealing the future of millions of people, including that Hausa boy. But the arson that followed, and the Yorubas that have to run for their lives. So this happened. I don't know if you have seen it.
This is a house that then got burned. They stole all the property inside this house, and they set the house on fire. The owner of this house has been macheted. They stabbed him.
But to my own surprise, the Yoruba Ponus, the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, the bastards, bad idiots, they have been avoiding that news. Like say, na leprosy. And somebody said, well, because it didn't happen in Igbo land. They would have started calling people to start burning Igbo shops, Igbo businesses in Lagos and Yoruba land. The Igbos must leave Yoruba land. I said, but listen, usually you would think these guys actually love Yoruba, and anything that has to do with Yoruba will make them kind of trigger them. How come this didn't trigger them? And I said, well, maybe I should amplify. I'm not asking you to go and attack any business or whatever. I'm just saying that you should, as a Yoruba person, rise and condemn something like this, the same way you have been cooking up different kind of bigotry that is mostly because of political bigotry that is laced around defending one man, the druggie, the drug dealer, that you call your fellow Yoruba Omo Ale for. And those who are non-Yorubas, you call them enemies of Yorubas because of Tifnumbu that doesn't give a damn about you. But when things happen to your people, when the Fulani came and killed 3 Yoruba Obas in just 5 days, 3 Yoruba Obas, they were not really triggered. When Ilano, Alano, Nilano, Vilano, Udua. When that old man said over 20,000 Yorubas have been killed, one person began to have a panic or brain hemorrhage or brain shut down, like on social media. Like, why are they ignoring that news? How come nobody is asking for Tifnumbu to go and protect the Yorubas in Kaduna? Kaduna government won't even make a statement about it. And this happened, right? According to information I have here, it's a Yoruba community in Wush. No, hang on. It's called Jushi Waje. And they said it's opposite the Nigerian Army Depot Barracks in Zaria, Zabongari in Zaria, which means the supposed military barracks in front of the place just let it happen. And those who got stabbed, the properties got burned. They were specifically the Yoruba communities in that place. And you, that is so obsessed, you, the Omo Irokirons, you that, you know, have already used left hand to point at your father's houses, if your father has any. You are not concerned, right? But when it comes to Tifnumbu, or they mentioned Igbos, you get so triggered that somehow you begin to instigate violence, that some of you are a bunch of cowards that you can't really carry out yourselves. Except on social media, where you have this loud mouth who shares all the Igbos away. If we see any Igbo, this or that, Baba, I would have expected you to sort of like amplify this enough to make you feel like, I mean, to make anyone that comes after any Yoruba anywhere to think twice. So the verdict is that none of these Ronukus actually cares about Yoruba. They don't give a damn about Yoruba or the Yoruba people or the Yoruba land. The only thing that triggers them is whenever they know that Tifnumbu may not spend these 80 years as they are envisaging. And a lot of people are totally against the incompetent, corrupt Tifnumbu and his gang of thieves. So the only thing that triggers them is anything that threatens that Tifnumbu will probably end up in jail or even dead, or them losing the power. They want the power that is not serving them or serving anybody. Say. So when next they say they try to gaslight you into defending Yoruba, as they will say, right? That the Igbos ate Yoruba, or this one's ate Yoruba. It is actually not Yorubas. They are practically letting you know that anyone that is against the Tifnumbu, right, should be considered as enemies of Yoruba. Meanwhile, Tifnumbu is number one enemy of the Yoruba people. Just like Bokwari is the number one enemy of the Fulani people. When Fulani terrorists were killing people all over Nigeria, the other Fulanis who were not terrorists, nobody said that they have any better life. They are languishing in poverty, in abject of it, in lack, and in terrorism, right? If Bokwari never gave a damn about them, their children were never given any treatment like education or whatever. No. But rather, they were using the position to protect terrorists that are kidnapping and killing other people around Nigeria. And they were making them feel like anybody that condemns Bokwari is an enemy of Fulani. Meanwhile, Bokwari was number one enemy of the Fulanis. 8 years after, the lives of the Fulanis in Nigeria is worse. Except for those who have access to this free money through the political association. Similarly, the Yorubas right now, they want you to believe that anyone and everyone that is against this Tifnumbu is enemy of Yoruba. No, Tifnumbu is number one enemy of Yoruba. Yorubas are becoming alimajiris. Yoruba children are dropping off schools. Yoruba elders are dying of preventable diseases because they cannot afford their medication. Yorubas are losing out in the scheme of things. No skill, no education, no wealth, no nothing. But they want you to believe that anybody that speaks against Tifnumbu is enemy of Yoruba. What exactly is the benefit of being a Yoruba, that you have a Yoruba man as a president of Nigeria? What is that benefit to you as a Yoruba man or woman, to your children? What can you say is the direct benefit you can see right now? Say it to me right now. Tell me, because I may not know. Nothing. Rather, the democratization of this poverty, democratization of this shege, you are mostly the people that are sharing it more. Ebim power. That's not English. That is not Igbo. That is not Hausa. It is Yoruba. Ebim power. But the Ronukus, the Yoruba Ponus, the Yoruba Moales want you to believe that anybody that is against Tifnumbu is enemy of Yoruba, when they are actually the enemies of Yoruba land, Yoruba people. We'll stay back in that Kaduna. This guy was explaining that when the little finger was there, they used to construct a kilometer of road for 500 million naira. A kilometer. Today is 1 billion naira. He's talking all kind of other nonsense, but it might sound sensible to some people, but not to me. I just want it to be on record. The person that succeeded, the little finger, Rufai of Kaduna.
Development has tremendously increased. But don't forget, if you have anything to do with economy, I can tell you, you have to know the cost of fund. Cost of fund means if we have constructed a road in the last 5 years at the rate of 500 million, today you construct the same road at the rate of 1 billion naira. That is the cost of fund. Do you know the economics of that? You have to check. That is why sometimes I want to educate people when they don't understand. Again, some of us, just like the president is talking about paying debt, which is, I think, is real. We have to agree with that. In Kaduna State also, when I came in, every month I'm paying 4.7 billion debts that I inherited from the previous government. But I'm not complaining. Government is about continuity. We have to pay the debt, just like federal government also paying the debt. In Kaduna, we're paying 4.7 billion. If you go and check and see our allocation, you will agree with me. And this debt, we've only started paying it in June 2023. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that, look, every month in Kaduna State, what we are getting at the moment is about 8.something billion. And 8.something billion means we're supposed to have receive about 12 billion compared to what other states are receiving within the northern Nigeria and some other states around the north. But unfortunately, we have 4.7 billion minus because we have to pay our debt. And these debts are sovereign debts. They are being deducted from the FAC allocation. If you go to the management office today, check what Kaduna State government is paying every month. From the foreign debt is about 4 billion. From the local debt is about 700 million. So this is the fact. So I'm starting with minus 4.7, but I'm not complaining. We are trying as much as possible to manage what we have. Today in Kaduna, yes, I agree with you, governance is about saving the cost of governance and trying to manage what we have. Since I came as a governor, I kept saying, we have not bought a single vehicle in Kaduna for anyone, whether myself, whether the deputy governor or my commissioners. And again, we have reduced the performance bonuses or the salaries of our commissioners, our deputy governor, and myself today sitting here. I'm only receiving half of my salary. Why? Because we have to make the sacrifice considering the fact that we have this problem. And again, people can talk about what of our IGR. Again, our IGR account is with the Zenith Bank. You can go and check. Our IGR account is with the Zenith Bank. Every month, Zenith Bank is deducting about 800 million from the source because we also inherited a debt where Zenith Bank must deduct 800 million from our IGR account. And I cannot change that because I inherited that. So as a government, I don't like talking, I don't like mentioning, I don't like complaining. It's simply because they're asking the question. If you don't ask this question, I will not tell anyone because as a governor, I have a responsibility to use the resources we have to move the state forward. The government has
want to keep the people hungry and angry. But we say, be patient. There is no free beer parlor anymore.
He doesn't want to complain, but because you asked, that's why we have to